Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome. Welcome, 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 everyone. 1 second, I want to make sure welcome. I am live on Facebook. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook. Welcome, everyone, to the NeuroGraphica presentation part 3. Today's the last part of the beautiful NeuroGraphica presentation. The new presentation, the last presentation that I have done was, I believe, in 2022. So this is a new presentation. Somehow I look very dark. Let me check something. Give me a second, everyone. Just want to make sure. Feel like this. It's very dark. Let me check if there's anything else. Well, somehow it's very dark. Okay, let me go again. 1 second, everybody. One second, let me just go live on Instagram. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. NeuroGraphica presentation part 3. My name is Lana Shalom. I'm a certified NeuroGraphica instructor and coach. And today we're going to continue talking about what NeuroGraphica is. You know, for those of you who are new to the field, for those of you even who are not new to the field, please join me. You might discover something interesting, something new about yourself. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to say hello to me, whether you are my student. If you are not my student, welcome to say hi. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, welcome to put it in the comment. I will be happy to answer your questions in this live stream. Okay. As usually, those of you on Facebook, you can see the presentation. Those of you on Instagram, you can't see the presentation, but the good news, I read everything that's on the presentation. I explain, I bring interesting and new innovative view, the way we can look at the NeuroGraphica method. And let's start. For the past 2 days, we've been talking about what NeuroGraphica is. On Tuesday, in the part 1, I told you how NeuroGraphica was created, how the author of the NeuroGraphica method, his name is Pavel Piskaryov, how he created this method, from an idea, from a kind of a calling out to create something new and unique that could transform the world. Pavel, having his background in architecture, in psychology, in Reiki master, in Daoism and Buddhism, having a lot of practices within Vipassana, silent retreats, all kind of interesting learning. He's a Jungian psychology. And it's interesting to see how he took all of his knowledge and he created this method that is very versatile. The interesting part about NeuroGraphica, you can find, no matter what your background is, you can find everything in it. Okay. Also, Pavel is a religious person. If you're a religious person, you can find something in NeuroGraphica that will speak to you from a point of religion. If you're a Buddhist person, you will find something, some ideas, the Buddhist ideas that it's incorporated. If you're an architecture, if you're a scientific guy, there's so much scientific, interesting, scientific ideas involved in this method. If you are a psychologist, of course, there is so much in this method that's based on the psychological approach, the study of the human mind, the understanding of how psychology, how NeuroGraphica is based on the Jungian psychology. If you're into archetypes, even if you're not a psychologist, but you're into archetypes, that's a thing nowadays, right? A lot of people study archetypes from a marketing point of view, right? Saw that, I was interested. I started actually looking into it. I took like a lesson that talked about archetypes and marketing. Apparently, it's a big thing. I'm from a non-marketing background, non-business background. I'm a psychologist. I'm a special ed teacher. So completely different ideas. But guess what? NeuroGraphica has it. NeuroGraphica actually has a whole neurofacilitation part. I'm a specialist in the neurofacilitation. If any of you are interested in learning what neurofacilitation is, which is using the NeuroGraphica method in marketing, in group building, group teaching, or like group, like how they do corporate, like now, especially in the holiday season, they do corporate events. NeuroGraphica is excellent for that. If you're a yoga teacher, NeuroGraphica definitely has a lot of components that will talk to you. Something else came to my mind. If you are a business person, if you're of course, NeuroGraphica is a coaching tool. So a lot of ideas within the NeuroGraphica will talk to you. NeuroGraphica is about setting a goal and reaching your goal, going towards your goal. If you're into vision boards, NeuroGraphica is a live vision board that you create from scratch. The ideas that you put, if you are into constellation, NeuroGraphica is based on constellation. I know Pavel, I don't know if he graduated the constellation course, but I definitely know that he took it. And I think one of the neuromandala course, we have a whole mandala, the mandala of ancestors. Okay, and it's based upon Bert Hellinger's work of constellation. I like to call it alignments, right? It's a more appropriate way of what happens in Bert Hellinger's, psychological approach to the way humans look at life and humans figure out the communication with each other. Yesterday, we talked about NeuroGraphica being an effective communication tool, an effective way to deal with your environment, to figure out what is it within your environment you want to bring to reach your goal. So today we're going to finish the presentation and we're going to kind of talk a little more. What is NeuroGraphica? How, and I like to use another slogan, one of the premises of NeuroGraphica is it's a universal code that is easy to learn. Look at the drawing that you see on your screen. Those of you on Facebook, how about I use my own drawings? How about that? That should always work, right? Yeah, I use one of the drawings. It's yeah, why don't I use this one? It's not finished. Okay, this is a drawing from actually a number of years ago, okay? Okay, what do you see in NeuroGraphica? You see lines, you see shapes, mostly in this drawing, you see circles, lines, colors, right? Flow. One of the ways some people describe it, there is a flow, and it's true. The color flow, right? The flow created through the use of the color, the flow created through the use of the lines, right? And that's why it says that NeuroGraphica is a language that's easy to learn. Okay, we're going to start next week. I'm going to post a schedule, what I'm doing next week. Maybe next Sunday, not this coming Sunday, the Sunday after, I will actually schedule a drawing session, okay? Next week, I'm going to do open session, not just talking about regular NeuroGraphica, which is the refresher introduction to the basic user course, which I'm going to be making it open so you guys learn more about the NeuroGraphica method, maybe even start utilizing it. Next Sunday, I'm going to yet confirm that with you, but most probably next Sunday, which will be what? December 15th. I'm going to make we're going to do a live drawing. We're going to do a live NeuroGraphica drawing and we will draw miracles, okay? Some of you know this algorithm already. I drew it with you. It's a part of the miracles. I have an open video. Welcome to watch it. It's called Bringing Miracles in Your Life. This is the month of September. It's about miracles. It's about learning how to attract miracles. It's about how to see miracles, right? A few weeks ago, I believe 2 weeks ago, we drew right before Thanksgiving. We made an open drawing where we talked about gratitude, and gratitude is about bringing blessing in your life. So now, December time, it's like, deep winter time, right? And it's that this is the interesting time to notice. This is when all the major religions have their holidays, right? There's Christmas around, there's Hanukkah. And why? Because people are looking for miracles. People are looking to see beyond the darkness that surround us. And when I say darkness, it's both physical, the actual darkness. Most people, we change the time, and so it becomes dark. My kids start telling me, "Mom, it's dark. It's like five something outside, 5:20, and it's so getting dark already. 5:30, it's already dark outside." And people are looking beyond. People are looking to bring more light in their life, right? And it's also, we know it's also much more than physical darkness. We feel like there's so much going on in the world, and we feel the darkness, being surrounded by dark forces, right? Not to sound like I'm from Star Wars, right? But that's what it is. You feel like you're surrounded by darkness, emotional darkness, right? People, it's shown, research has shown that in the dark, once it's in the winter, people are more prone to depression. So people are looking for emotional light. People are looking for mental light, right? People are more sleepy. It's understandable. It's winter time. It's kind of hibernation time, if we're thinking about the natural cycle, right? Natural cycle, and we see that by the animal cycle, right? Many animals go into the hibernation cycle because this is a non-energetic cycle. So people are looking for energy. They're looking for mental energy. They're looking for emotional, physical energy. And of course, we're going to align it together with our soul that always has energy, that always, or means light in the Kabbalistic term, and we're going to talk about it. So definitely, I wanted to mention it, but this is where you're going to see in practice. This is a practical application. What NeuroGraphica is. I'm going to show you how NeuroGraphica is a very easy alphabet. Okay, you have a number of shapes and a line, and you learn the code. The basic user course, the very first beginner course, is about learning the alphabet, learning to read, right? This is what children do in pre-K and kindergarten, right? And this is what we do in the beginning, learning to read. But it's interesting to start noting. I've been doing NeuroGraphica the 6th year. This is my 7th year beginning already, right? And it's still now, looking at the drawing, starting to understand, starting to figure out what is the drawing telling me, okay? And it's about synergy. It's using, like I mentioned before, you can look at NeuroGraphica and find something of everything. And it's about the ability to combine NeuroGraphica with other transformational practices. In my open sessions, you can look up on YouTube, you can find Lana Shalom, and you can write Lana Shalom and essential oils. I did a whole video where I explained how we can combine NeuroGraphica with the essential oils, NeuroGraphica with meditation. Okay, if you're into essential oils, you can use NeuroGraphica method and you'll find what to connect it. If you are into Ho'oponopono, I'm a certified Ho'oponopono practitioner. I am an advanced Ho'oponopono practitioner. I have open videos. Look it up on YouTube, Lana Shalom Ho'oponopono. You're going to have a lot of videos where I explain. I actually give you an open videos, the whole explanation of advanced Ho'oponopono, just going beyond the 4 phrases. There's much, much more. And yes, I actually have a whole course where we use the NeuroGraphica method with the Ho'oponopono method. It's absolutely amazing. It's mesmerizing. Again, it's going beyond the phrases. Okay, so it's about NeuroGraphica is about synergy with other transformational systems. NeuroGraphica is a fundamental activity with neural pathways. We spoke about it yesterday. I gave you yesterday scientific research that showed how NeuroGraphica actually affects. It shows how NeuroGraphica kind of highlight. They did a CAT scan and they showed that after people used NeuroGraphica, they started sit down and drawing NeuroGraphica. They showed how CAT scan showed how certain areas of the brain was highlighted more. And it's about the fact that your brain starts activating, different areas of the brain become activated. Okay, research shows that our mind is so deep, our brain, we only, honestly, do you know that we utilize about 3 to 5% of our brain capacity? I am not joking. Like, most people, regular people, when I say regular people, I don't mean people who constantly read, who constantly do research, who constantly engage in mental activity. Okay, it seems like we're constantly engaged in mental activities, right? Like even being aware, opening your eyes, closing your eyes, and opening and looking at pencils on my table, looking at the iPad, looking at the screen. It's mental activity. But when we talk about more complex mental activity, people who are scientists, people who are, they study, they actually learn, they create, they research, they like really, really, I would say brainiac people, they engage like maybe 5% of their brain. Regular people who are not so into studious, they're not in the study mode all the time, they use up until like 2 to 3% of their brain. So it's interesting to start noting. A lot of part of our brain, as much as scientists, we think we know so much, but those who are scientists, we know the more you discover, the more you find out, the less you know. When we start using NeuroGraphica, you start figuring out, you start exploring the part of the brain that hasn't been explored yet. When I'm going to do the pyramid of consciousness, I already have some open videos you're welcome to watch, but if you want to learn more, I'm going to have a different approach to the pyramid of consciousness. Again, I'm going to put a schedule. You're going to see how with NeuroGraphica, we go deep within our subconscious. I would even say unconscious. That's how deep we go. It's not even subconscious. It's a part of the consciousness that's not easily accessible. People may access it through the use of hypnosis, I would say, but meditation, like people who do silent retreats, people who go and stay in monastery for or silent meditations for 2, 3 weeks, maybe a month, they can reach certain depths of their consciousness. Okay. I went through the silent retreat. I did it it was the most amazing experience. It heightened my awareness. It heightened my consciousness on such a level that I'm still in awe of the things I discovered back then. And still, even now, I become aware of everything, And that's the idea. The idea is that with the NeuroGraphica method, you become more aware, you become more heightened, more kind of sensitive to certain information around you. You will see certain information become more accessible to you, more highlighted to you, the information that you need, the information that's necessary for you to reach your goal. That's why I always say it's a coaching tool. You must always set a goal before you draw. Why draw? This is not just an art class, but it's an actual way for you to figure out what you want in life, because that's what makes us human unique. Animals live on instincts. They just, they eat when it's instinctually their body tells them to eat. They pray, they eat, they sleep when it's a cycle of sleeping. They procreate when it's in nature tells them, a certain natural way of living. Humans are not like that. What makes us human, a part of what makes us human, is a desire. It's a very Kabbalistic by the way, if you're a Kabbalist, you're going to find a lot in the NeuroGraphica method. I have a lot of Kabbalistic background, and desire is the first step into human existence, okay? We wake up in the morning, like I said, I was talking about it yesterday. If you have no desire, you have no energy. You wake up and like, okay, I just want to stay in bed. What's the point of getting up? But you need to have desire. You need to say, like with me, it's like, okay, I have presentation part 3. Then I had a session this morning. I saw some friends in the morning. We met up for tea and coffee. Then I had a Torah class. I learned religion, started the weekly Bible study we have, right? Now I'm doing this. Afterwards, I have a whole plan of what I'm learning or what I need to do. Okay. And that's what gives me energy, but that's a desire. I know what I want. I have a goal, a long-term goal, and I have a short-term goal. And that's the beauty of the NeuroGraphica method. It's using art, it's using creativity, it's using everything I mentioned earlier today to reach your goal. Imagine the universe, like I like to call it God. I'm a religious person. I like to utilize God. I like to everything to me starts and brings you to God. If you're not, you don't see God that way, that's fine. You use your own name for it. Some people use the word universe, but that's an interesting to know that, God conspired with Pavel Piskarev. I'm going to say that with the founder, with the creator, and they created this method that encompasses so many parts of what life can offer. All of it is done for you to reach your goal. Just think about how amazing that is. Think how fortunate you are to be living in this world, to be living at this specific time, when this is a possibility. You can sit down, take a paper, take a pen, a marker, I would say. Don't use a pen, use a marker. If you don't have a marker, it can be a pencil, but you start drawing and you start becoming aware of things, okay? NeuroGraphic is about the ability to use it oneself. The basic user course, the beginner level, is about bringing transformation to you. The next level already, when you start becoming, if you want to start understanding how to use it with others, you become a specialist. But first and foremost is the ability to be your own coach. We all know how we're beyond the age of psychologists, right? There was a time in the USA. In America, I would assume same thing in Europe, right? In the Western world, they do it this way. It was the age of psychologists. Okay, it was all about going to therapy. It's about having your own therapy, having a therapist on your speed dial, right? And with time, people started noticing how dependent they became on their therapist, right? I like to watch that show Monk, right? If you ever know what I'm talking about, there's this guy who is extremely gifted, but he's, I would say, like maybe on the spectrum, like somewhat autistic, maybe, although he never actually called that way. But he has certain ways he's fixated on certain ideas, but he's brilliant in solving crime, right? And they show how he goes to a therapist 3 times a week, right? And it's interesting, that show is from the beginning of 2000s, right? Nowadays, people are shifting away from that because they start noticing that therapist is great when you want to solve what's happening in the past, but it doesn't help you to move forward. It doesn't help you to go toward your goal. What do you want in the future? If you're always stuck in the past, that's great, and therapy has a place in it. But at one time, you need to turn around and say, you know what? It's important for me to fix the past, but it's only important when I look toward the future. And that's when NeuroGraphica comes in. It's a beautiful coaching tool that you can do on your own. No dependence upon therapists, no dependence upon coaches. Even people who have coaches, they know. With coaching, by the way, it's a thing. You create you buy like 4 sessions, and that should be enough. There is no such dependency as it is on therapists, psychologists, with coaches. It shouldn't take more than 4 to 5 sessions, depending on the goal, of course. If it's like a really big goal, becoming a president, or like opening becoming head of the corporation, then you can take more sessions, right? But the idea is that like it's a certain numbers, it's finite. It doesn't have this dependency included. And when Pavel created the NeuroGraphica method, he talks about it. He talks about the fact that he created it in mind that people can just sit down and do it themselves. And that's what the basic user course is about. You're sitting down and you're drawing your way to transformation, your personal transformation. No dependency on coaching, time set. You do it at your own time, at your own convenience. The choice of a quick activity can be 10 minutes or longer, as much as necessary to solve the challenge. Yes, also part of the basic user course. I'm going to actually take a special session. I'm going to tell you about each of the algorithms of the basic user course. One of the algorithms, the main algorithm, is called the algorithm for removing limitations. We have an option. It's called algorithm for removing limitations. The acronym is ARL. So it's called ARL Express. I most of the time do this all the time. I take a piece of paper here. My students know it. I show it to them all the time. You see this little memo pad? I'm wondering. I am not. The memo pad shows you that. I hope you see it on the screen, because on my Facebook, I noticed that I am not moving much. So it's a memo pad, basically, just a regular little yellow pad. They have them in different colors nowadays. You use that I use that all the time for ARL Express. You just sit down quickly. It takes you 10, 15 minutes, and you can figure out certain challenge that posed to you during the day. It's absolutely amazing, very versatile. I watched the tools of the trade video that I did, I believe, last week, where I showed you a little bag I have with pencils and a paper and markers, and I always do it even on the way. When I travel anywhere, I always take it with me, okay? Activity with the hidden, invisible object, as opposed to the most method that use a logical way to deal with the obvious object. That's what I say. This method involves mental capacity. Yes, there is logic here. And to those people who are interested in logic, I explain it in a logical way. I love logical way. That's how I view the world, right? But there's so much more. We all know that the world is much more beyond what our mind can possess, what our mind can understand. It's beyond that. It's more than that. Our body, we as humans are more than our body, which is what we can touch and can see. Our human existence is more than our emotions, which often overtake us, right? Those of us who are emotional people, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes emotional overtaking, you're like, I can't, it's either crying or screaming or overcome with emotions, right? Our human existence is much more than our mental capacity, right? Not just about logic and, understanding and show me scientifically how things work. It's much more beyond that. Okay. It's for those of us who are extremely spiritual, it's also beyond just our soul. We need to learn to combine it all together. And that's the idea. We draw a certain code on the paper. That's our super, super sub conscious, I like to call it unconscious part of who we are, understands and start figuring out how do I, you know, how do I get there? How do I achieve something in my life? How do I bring myself to certain achievements that I'm seeking? Can be anything, right? When we think about goals and achievement, it sounds very business-like, professional, but that's not what it's about. It's about everyday life, relationships, improving your relationship with your loved ones, forming new types of relationship, friendships, you know. It is so definitely professional, forming, starting a new business, continuing your business, becoming successful. But it's much more than that. It's about personal, achievement, personal, I would say, expansion, right? Development, personal development, learning how to be the best of who you can be, unlocking your potential, and so much more, right? Let's go to the next. These are my drawings, and you can see how versatile the drawings are. They can be different. This is a mandala drawing. This is a neurotree drawing. This is a shape. This is what I drew from part of the neurocomposition course. This is a hand drawing. This was a part of combination of Reiki with the NeuroGraphica, absolutely amazing course that I took. This is a drawing I did on the way the fire looks, right? When you burn fire, this is how it is. It's kind of going up. And various interesting ways, okay? Look how versatile, look how different they are, yet they all have the same in common. It's a NeuroGraphica drawing, okay? Some of them are neuro art, and you can see the difference. I'll make a separate video where I explain, but most of the basic reason you can see this drawing is more neuro art. This one is because there is no field lines and there is no fixing shape. Two important aspects of what the NeuroGraphica drawing is supposed to be. This is a NeuroGraphica drawing. You can see the field line. This was one of my early. This was in 2018. I drew this in St. Petersburg at the intensive where I actually met Pavel in person. I love this drawing. You can feel the energy of the intensive in here. And although you can't see, there is field lines here. There's one here and here, but this was the beginner drawings. Like nowadays, my drawings look a bit different, but it's interesting to start noting. You will note, by the way, the more you practice, the more your drawings change to reflect who you are. Jacqueline, welcome, welcome. I saw your beautiful heart. Sending you a heart back, dear. Okay. NeuroGraphica encourages creative expression. It promotes mental well-being. It's about self-discovery, right? And you can see this was, I did a presentation of NeuroGraphica in one of the, was some kind of live functioning where I did a presentation to people who are completely new to NeuroGraphica. They never heard anything. And it was absolutely amazing, right? It's about NeuroGraphica brings the idea that a happy life, right? There is an idea within NeuroGraphica. Happy life is a neuronic code, okay? I am now making a whole course about happiness. So I'm going to tell you more about happiness. I'll be making separate videos about it. If you want to learn how to scientifically reach happiness, how to start doing happiness, you can become happy, learn how to implement happiness on an everyday level. And that's what Pavel says. Pavel says that happiness is a certain neuronic code that's like a vivid representation of the neurons in our brain, right? We all are different people. So it seems like we all need different things to be happy, but there is like an algorithm for happiness. Okay. That's what I'm going to call it. And look what else. What else can you see from the NeuroGraphica drawing? That a loving relationship can form a beautiful picture while conflicting relationship create another. And that's a conundrum that happens in the NeuroGraphica. A lot of times students tell me, oh my God, I finished drawing and I don't like it. I hate this drawing. It's ugly. It's horrible. And I look at the drawing meanwhile and I see beautiful. So I explain that, remember, when you look at the drawing, you see what it represents to you. When you are not happy with the drawing, by the way, this is how you know, you are still in the conflicting state with the goal, with the topic of your drawing. If you don't like the drawing, it's not the drawing itself. To me, it would look beautiful, but rather what the drawing represents to you. Okay, there is a saying, one of the principles in NeuroGraphica state, the main object in NeuroGraphica is the subject, meaning you yourself. Okay, meaning if I look at the drawing, I cannot be telling you, oh no, your drawing is beautiful. That's my opinion. It's your opinion that counts. You decide that the NeuroGraphica drawing is not that good. Okay, and that's up to you. You have a right to that opinion. And guess what? Your right is even more because that's your drawing. If you don't like it, most of the time it represents the fact you're still like figuring out. You're still not fully set. You're not in harmony. You're not in balance with the goal that you set. And it could be different aspects. Maybe because you feel it's too fast or too slow. You are not ready for the goal in your life. Maybe for the goal to be realized, or maybe with the way that goal becomes realized in your life. And that gives you a signal that you should draw and not make another drawing. Draw as much as you can. Draw and not make another drawing. Make yet another drawing until you reach the state of full harmony. Until you create a drawing, it could be the same topic where you can look at it and say, oh my God, this is the most beautiful drawing in my life. I'm going to call the Metropolitan Museum of Art because guess what? They will take it. That's how beautiful you think it is. You will think that the art critics from all over the world will say this is the most beautiful drawing, painting, drawing, art creature of centuries. Yes, I have a lot of drawings like that. And again, I am not an artist. I don't have any artistic background. Okay, guys? I only draw NeuroGraphica for coaching purposes, for psychological well-being, self-discovery and everything like that. And this is the idea that in NeuroGraphica, luck and success and happiness are powerful images we can envision. Remember what I said about the vision board? If you're into vision board, this would be perfect for you. This is a more creative way of doing vision boards, okay? Drawing vision boards. You can put anything as your goal, okay? I have videos that explain how to set a goal. Watch it. Put the word health, put the word money, put the word happiness, okay? I'm going to present to you an algorithm for the happiness. Yes, it does exist. Next Sunday, remember, I'm going to post it, but next Sunday, we're going to talk about miracle and algorithm. Is there an algorithm for a miracle is going to be what we're going to talk about. Anything can turn into an algorithm. Why? Algorithm is like a mathematical, like a sequence of steps when you can start at one point and finish at another point. NeuroGraphic is about algorithm. NeuroGraphic is about figuring out how do I get from point A to point B, which is what coaching is, which is what your life is. We wake up like this, okay? We wake up in the morning and I say, I'm in here. How do I get you wake up in the morning in bed and then you go to sleep most of the time in the same bed, right? But yet something changed. What has changed during the day? Those of you who do gratitude journals, you know what I'm talking about. When you do gratitude every day, you know that even though you wake up and you sleep and go to sleep at the same bed, you are changed. You're a changed human being. You're a changed individual because of the various transformations you undergo during the day when you do certain things, right? And that's what it's about. Creating an algorithm for success, for luck, for happiness, for professional empowerment. Anything you want to achieve, you can do it. NeuroGraphica method is exactly for that, okay? When we say, right, if you're into affirmation, NeuroGraphica is great for you, okay? Because when we have an affirmation, I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am happy, right? The idea, why do affirmations work? Because they create a certain image within our mental capacity. Now, if you go use the NeuroGraphica method, you will go further. You will go beyond creating a mental image. You will create a visual image for your mind, for your environment to start going toward. And that's what it's about. It's creating a remarkable self-image that you are going toward. Happiness, when we have a goal to be happy, and we all have a goal to be happy, no matter what we want, relationship, professional development, personal development, kids, I don't know, buying something in the store, money, financial expansion. One word that I would suffice to say about every single one of us every day is that we want to be happy. Happiness is that elusive idea that seems to us very elusive, but we can learn to be happy. Happiness is a picture of the brain that we can create and weave into our experiences. We can bring it to our mindset, and that will guide our choices. NeuroGraphica creates like a mind map for you to understand how to get to happiness. The frequency of lines within the images determine the quality of our outcomes, inspiring us to embrace our potential. We can talk about it more during the 10 principles, but one of the principles states, the more neural lines we draw, the more harmony, the more pathways we create on that map, on that GPS map that tells us how to get to that, again, that seemingly elusive goal. It seems like happiness is kind of elusive because you get, at one point you're happy and then the next moment you may not be happy. But we can make happiness a long-lasting effect in our life. And that's the idea that there's a lot of, again, if you're into positive psychology, NeuroGraphica is definitely for you. That's the whole idea of positive psychology, where they go away from the therapist-oriented field of psychology, where I'm coming to you, please heal me, to positive, where we're not just escaping not being happy, but we are looking to reach happiness. And that's the best part about the NeuroGraphica method. Okay, look at this picture. See this picture? This is actually during this presentation that I did. Look at this huge table, the amount of people. This person actually had that. They had, their hand was in cast, and they're a lefty, and the left hand was in the cast, and look at the beautiful NeuroGraphica drawing they created. Okay, when we believe, we all know that, right? Again, this is the perfect timing. The miracle time is about faith, about belief. When we believe in something, we become amazed at how we can overcome any circumstances in life to get our belief to become a reality, okay? Various unique models and theories of the NeuroGraphica method. Amazing, unique ideas that Pavel Piskarev, the creator of the NeuroGraphica method, has created. The base algorithm in the NeuroGraphic, also known as the 8 steps of the algorithm. I'm going to bring it to you separately, but there is a whole algorithm. Step 1 to step 8. Some of the steps can be varied, like step 5 can be done before for step 4, and step 6 can be done before step 5, but certain steps have to be followed. I will tell you about it, okay? Again, usually this is a basic user course, materials. I'm going to bring it open to you. It's time to start uncovering the method more openly. Pavel started doing it, so I'm going to take his lead and start bringing you more about the method in the open, so you guys become inspired. You start practicing. You start seeing how this amazing method works for you. Okay. The NeuroGraphic line is okay. Most of the things here are patented creations by Pavel. The base algorithm is a patented idea. Pavel patented. Again, I don't know about different countries, but I know it's definitely all of them are patented in the Russian Federation. Okay, the base algorithm, the 8 steps. The NeuroGraphic line, also known as Piskarev's line. This uniqueness, we discussed it yesterday. Watch the videos I created, I believe, from 2 weeks ago. I actually drew, it's called Exploring the Neuroline. We drew the neuroline, we explored it. It's an amazing way. I'm going to do a part of the open session. We're going to explore the neural line in a bit of a different way. I'm going to show you, actually teach you how to draw the neural line, because a lot of people, I see a lot of open videos by people who have no background in the NeuroGraphica method, but they think they know a lot. And the way they draw a NeuroGraphica line is not necessarily correct. So how about we start practicing following the real, way, the way the creator, the author teaches us. The neurographic pattern, the idea that NeuroGraphica consists of shapes and lines that are connected together through something we call the rounding. The rounding is one of the most amazing, we just talked about that hidden idea within the NeuroGraphica. Rounding is what brings harmony and balance to any NeuroGraphica drawing, okay? This is what both NeuroArt and NeuroGraphica have in common, is the rounding. This is where we meet together, okay? The theory of metamodern, I'm going to kind of touch upon it when I'm going to talk to you about the NeuroGraphic alphabet. I'm going to show it to you in a special philosophy called the metamodern idea. You probably, many of you, again, if you're a philosopher, you will find a lot of interesting ideas in the NeuroGraphica method. One of the major philosophical and sociological ideas is metamodern. Pavel took this idea to much further. I have a lot of open up videos that talks about the metamodern philosophy. Welcome to watch it if you want to understand. It's a really beautiful idea. It's going beyond the NeuroGraphica method, okay? The pyramid of consciousness, I'm going to do an open session. You can see it drawing here. It's understanding how your consciousness is built, the different levels within our subconscious and unconscious that we can access with the use of the NeuroGraphica method. Access it successfully. Access it in order to make our subconscious work for us, not against us. Okay, this is an important part to understand. The rising over here of a special algorithm within the neuromodular course. Welcome to learn more about it. It's a part of the neuromodular course. It's an amazing algorithm that, again, shows you a succession, an algorithm on becoming a hero. And of course, a hero is an archetypical idea. It's based upon the Greek idea. Again, I have an open video where I talk about it, okay? I should tag it as a theory of a hero. But it was an idea when I taught labyrinths. Yes, we can combine labyrinths. You can see it here. By the way, it's going to say on the bottom, neural labyrinths. And this is part of the unique labyrinth that was created by connecting the pyramid of development, right? A unique creation by Pavel with the labyrinths. Okay, but anyway, I have a neural labyrinths course. You're welcome to explore it. It's an amazing harnessing the power of the labyrinth with the connection with the NeuroGraphica methods. The synthesis of two methods is absolutely powerful. So I have an open video where I talk about the idea of the labyrinths, how it was created, where does the idea of the labyrinths come, exploration of the Greek mythology. And one of the ideas in there is explanation of Theseus and his successful battle with the Minotaur, right? And the rising of a hero comes based on that idea, based on the Greek mythological idea that there's a certain way, certain things, certain algorithm you need to do to become a hero. And Pavel used that to create this interesting idea, the pyramid of development. I didn't yet utilize that course, but that's something I'm looking forward. I may be teaching that course, hopefully in 2025, okay? I am a specialist, so I'm not exactly teaching it. I didn't end up becoming the instructor to teach it, but I can use it as a coaching algorithm. So if you want to learn a new coaching tool, which is a pyramid of development, welcome 2025. I'm hoping I'm going to schedule it. The multidimensional person is also a new MDP in English. MDP is about again harnessing the power of archetypes, and this is going beyond the archetypes. Maybe if you're into tarot cards, by the way, this is where you can also use the NeuroGraphica. I have friends who are professional in tarots, and they use NeuroGraphica to combine reading tarot with the NeuroGraphica method to reach more powerful results. Again, multidimensional person. I'm a specialist. I actually utilized this amazing coaching program that Pavel created within my great course. I recommend especially now before the starting of 2025, to set better goals for 2025. Take the goals and values course. It's absolutely magnificent. I highly recommend you taking it. It's about figuring out how to set goals that will actually come true, okay? A lot of us, we choose goals that are not necessarily our goals. They're like, we become influenced by other ideas and other people. But if you want goals, you want to figure out if that goal is truly your goal, you learn, and that's what I teach in the course, you learn how to align it with your values, with who you are on the soul level. Going, like I said, we as humans are much more than just our body, than just our emotions, our mind. We are a combination of everything, including our soul, that hidden component within us. And like I mentioned, the neural labyrinths, okay? Pavel has created unique labyrinths that combine the meta-modern philosophy, the Bogoban idea, and the pyramid of development. Okay, so that's something you can also take that course. It's available on my website, NeuroGraphicaUSA.com, lanashalom.com. Welcome to join, to learn that NeuroGraphica added depths, actually master the method, the beginner course is NeuroGraphica Basics user course, and join the specialist course to start learning how to go beyond NeuroGraphica for yourself, how to start influencing your environment, improving your relationship with others, basically become, that very popular word now, influencer. Become a NeuroGraphica style influencer, okay? It's a very unique course. Welcome to take it. And we are done with the presentation. I want to thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I had a lot of fun talking to you today and discussing NeuroGraphica. That's my favorite topic any time of the day. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching a YouTube channel, please click like. I would love it. Even if you're watching Instagram and Facebook, please like. Please help me spread this amazing method to others. The more likes you do, that's how algorithm is. Even if you do it while watching, the algorithm totally picks up. Please do it. That would be great. So more people can learn, more people can benefit. And I'm inviting you next week. I will set a schedule of what I'm discussing. We're going to do live sessions either 3 or 4 times a week, okay? And next Sunday, God willing, we're going to set 11 a.m. probably on Sunday. We're going to set an open drawing session. So put that in your schedules, okay? Thank you for joining me live, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day or night ahead. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. You can always comment. You can always write it to me personally, email, and everything else. Goodbye, everyone.